Jai Gurudev children, I'm very glad to be amidst you once again. Today I am with the second part of geography lesson air. Weather. Weather is the state of the atmosphere at a particular place and time based on factors like heat, cloudiness, dryness, sunshine, wind, rain, etc. It is hour to hour, day to day condition of the atmosphere of a place. Climate. Climate is the weather conditions prevailing in an area in general or over a long period of time. We generally say when the day is very hot, we say the climate is very hot. Or if the day is very pleasant, we would say the climate is very good today, very pleasant today. But it's a very wrong usage. We should say that the weather is hot, the weather is pleasant, because weather only indicates the day to day changes of the atmospheric conditions. On the other hand, climate indicates a general or the weather conditions that prevail over a long period of time. So, please avoid using a wrong usage. Climate is weather very good today. Instead, you should say the weather is very good, the weather is sultry, the weather is hot. Understood, children, the difference between the weather and the climate? Temperature. It's the degree of hotness or coldness of the environment. How hot or how cold the environment is, the surrounding is, the place is determined by the temperature, or the temperature determines the hotness or the coldness of a particular place of the environment. Okay. The temperature of atmosphere changes from not only season to season but also from day to night. If you compare day and night, which will be cooler? Obviously, the days will be hotter and the nights will be cooler. Is it not? Because during daytime you have the sun, and because of the sun, the weather will be hot. On the other hand, at night time, you cannot receive sun's light. So, obviously, your environment cools down, and so it will be cooler. Right? Then, insolation. Insolation is nothing but the amount of sun's rays, the amount of solar radiation received by an area at a particular time is called an insolation. Insolation is nothing but the amount of solar radiation received by an area at a particular time. Okay, that is known as insolation. Air pressure. The air in the atmosphere is made up of a number of gases. As you all know that air is made up of gases. Air is a composition, it's a mixture of gases. You would have learned this one in science. These gases press down on the earth's surface, exerting a force that we call it air pressure or atmospheric pressure. So you would have learnt in science that air exerts pressure. So when you have a blanket of air surrounding the earth, obviously the gases, the air, would put a pressure on the earth's surface, and that pressure is known as the air pressure or the atmospheric pressure. Wind. Right from your lower classes, you would have learnt what is wind. Wind is moving air. Moving air is called wind. Is it not? So, what is wind? If I ask you, you would definitely say the answer moving air is wind. We would see there are types of winds. You are going to learn further about winds, right? Wind, it is the perceptible natural movement of the earth, especially in the form of a current of air blowing from a particular direction. Types of winds. There are mainly three types of winds: permanent winds, seasonal winds, and local winds. The first type of winds is permanent winds. They blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. The winds will never change the direction. Okay, they would blow only from the particular direction. That's why these winds are named after the direction from which they are blowing. Westerlies, easterlies. The winds that emanate from western direction are known as westerlies. The winds that emanate from eastern direction are known as easterlies. So they blow throughout the year. Not only that, in a particular direction only they blow. That's why this system of winds is known as permanent wind system. Okay. I told you about permanent wind system. Okay, it is a permanent system of winds that blow throughout the year from a particular direction. Then what must be seasonal winds? Definitely, you are all correct. The winds that blow in a particular season are known as seasonal winds. These kinds of winds change their direction in different seasons. The third system of winds, or the third type of winds, is local winds. These winds blow in a small area during a particular period of a day or a year. These winds blow in a small area during a particular day, particular period of a day or a year. If you see the land breeze and sea breeze, the land breeze will blow during daytime and a sea breeze will blow during night time, right? So there is a change. So this is a local wind. And if you see Loo blows only in desert areas, Rajasthan, those areas. Okay, it is highly pertain to only that particular area. So such winds are known as local winds. Moisture. What is moisture? Moisture is water content. Okay. In dry weather conditions, we generally use moisturizing cream. It gives moist to our body, to our skin. It keeps our skin moist. It does not allow our skin to get dry. That is the work of the moisturizer. So moisture means water or other liquids diffused in a small quantity as vapor. It may be in the form of vapor within a solid or condensed on a surface. If the water vapor touches a solid surface, what will happen to that water vapor? The water vapor starts condensing itself and water droplets would be formed. You would have learned this one in your science again. It's basically a science subject. It's a correlated subject. You could say it's a correlated topic. You could have learned this one in science, and you are learning it in geography also. An interrelated topic, you could say, right? So the moisture is the water or any other liquid diffused in a small quantity as vapor within a solid or condensed on a surface. Then what is humidity? Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. The amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is called humidity. Clouds. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets of water. In the previous slide only I explained you about that, is it not? After condensation, what will happen to the water vapor? The water vapor changes into liquid form again, right? It becomes water droplets instead of water vapor. These clouds are just masses of such water droplets. Clouds are just masses of such water droplets. When these droplets of water become too heavy to float in air, then they come down as precipitation. It's nothing. When the accumulation of water droplets and the dust particles is too much, when too many drops of water droplets are accumulated and in a cloud, the cloud becomes very heavy. So the cloud could not float. So what will happen? The cloud would let down the water, and that is known as precipitation or rain. Understood? Everybody likes to play in rain. Is it not? Rain, that too nowadays rains have become very, very scarce nowadays. And so we all love to see rain. So what is rain? Precipitation that comes down to the earth in liquid form is called rain. So when the clouds pour down the water, it is called precipitation or rain. So the precipitation that comes down from the cloud to the earth in liquid form is called rain. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Think, if there is no rain, what will happen? Earth, people, living things, nothing could survive. Right from a small grass to a very big elephant, every living thing needs water, and rainwater is the most important source of drinkable water, pure water. And you would have learnt in science that rainwater is the purest form of water. And so we need rainwater, we need rain for our survival, and it is everybody's responsibility to gather rainwater. That's rainwater harvesting. This rainwater harvesting was done by our ancestors. We have learned that in history, is it not? The kings built tanks in the temples. They built dams, they built tanks, and these tanks were meant for harvesting rainwater. And they built artificial lakes also to harvest rainwater. But what are we doing now? Think, are we doing justice to the nature? Are we really harvesting the rainwaters? Then we are blaming others for not getting water, for the scarcity of water. But what kind of water management do we follow? Think, children. Act smart. Ask your parents also to harvest rainwater, right? Types of rain. On the basis of the formation of rains, they could be divided into three types. Okay. On the basis of the formation of rains, they could be divided into three types. So you could say on the basis of mechanism. Mechanism is nothing but the formation, how they are formed. There are three types of rainfall: the convectional rainfall, the orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. What is convectional rainfall? It's a very, very common rainfall in the tropical regions like India. As you all learn about the water cycle, evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. This is how the rains form, the convectional rain forms. Okay, the convectional rain forms by the way of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Okay, so convectional rainfall occurs when the energy of the sun heats the surface of the earth, causing water to evaporate to form water vapor. When the land heats up, it warms the air above it. This causes the air to expand and rise. As the air rises, it cools and condenses. This process of condensation forms clouds high in the atmosphere. If this process continues, rainfall will occur. This type of rainfall is very common in tropical areas between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. As I already told you, it's very common in India because India also lies in the tropical region, tropical area, because Tropic of Cancer passes through India. You all know that, is it not? What is orographic rainfall? Relief rainfall, also known as orographic rainfall, occurs in areas where land increases in height. It's nothing but where mountains and hills are found. Okay, raised land area is nothing but a hill or a mountain. Okay, the other name of orographic rainfall is relief rainfall. Right, relief rainfall is formed when the air cools as it rises over relief features in the landscape such as hills or mountains. As the air rises, it cools, condenses and forms rain. The third kind of rainfall is the cyclonic rainfall. What is cyclonic rainfall? Frontal or cyclonic rain is caused by cyclonic activity and it occurs along the fronts of the cyclone. The other name of orographic rainfall is relief rainfall. The other name for cyclonic rainfall is frontal rainfall. Okay, it occurs along the fronts of the cyclone. It is formed when two masses of air of different temperature, humidity and density meets. Right? For example, meeting of moisture laden warm tropical wind with a polar air mass. So, if you take the tropical winds will be warm with humidity. If you take polar air mass, they emanate from the polar winds, emanate from the polar region. So they are cold winds but dry. Right? When these two kinds of winds or when these two masses of winds join together, there is every possibility of a cyclonic rainfall in that specific area. A layer separating them is called the front. This front has two parts, obviously the warm front and the cold front. Because two masses, one warm and the other one cold, are meeting together. So definitely there will be two fronts, a warm front and a cold front. At the warm front, the warm lighter wind rises gently over the heavier cold air, which being heavy stays close to the ground. The cold air always stays to the ground. Okay, because they are heavy. As the warm air rises, it cools and the moisture present in it condenses to form clouds, altostratus clouds. The clouds that are formed because of this procedure, that is warm mass of wind meeting the cold mass of wind, there the kind of cloud formed is altostratus. Okay, altostratus clouds are formed and this rain falls steadily for a few hours to a few days. So far you learnt about the types of rain. Okay. But there are other forms of precipitation also. What are they? Snow, sleet, hail. What is meant by snow? Snow is the precipitation in the form of ice crystals. It originates in clouds when temperatures are below the freezing point. You must be knowing the freezing point of water. It is 0 degrees Celsius. And when the temperature reaches below 0 degrees in the clouds, the water droplets present in the clouds change into ice crystals and they fall down as snow in very, very cold areas. Sleet. Sleet is nothing but the snow that partially melts as it falls. When the snow melts partially and becomes water, that is known as a sleet. You can see the second picture. It looks like a small minute ice. Is it not? It's powdered ice. It looks like powdered ice, and that is the picture of sleet. The first picture denotes snow and the last one is hail. Okay. Hail is a form of solid precipitation. It is distinct from ice pellets, though the two are often confused. It consists of balls or irregular lumps of ice, each of which is called a hailstone. Actually, the third picture shows you the hailstones, and that is known as hail. Even in Kanchipuram or in Sri Perumbudur, a few months before, you had this hail. Alangatti Mala, Ice Katti Mala. You used to call this one in Tamil as Ice Katti Mala. That is hail. Okay, it falls down as a solid ice. That solid precipitation is known as hail. So, you saw in the slide about the other forms of precipitation: snow, sleet, and hail. Understood, children? As we have already discussed about the importance of rainfall, the slide also shows the importance of rainfall. If it's going to be a scarcity, if there is going to be a scarcity in rainfall, definitely drought will be the result. And if the rains are going to be very heavy, then floods will be the result. So the rains should be in a proper quantity, is it not? So we could say the rainfall is very important for the survival of plants and animals. It brings fresh water to the earth's surface. If the rainfall is less, water scarcity and drought occur. On the other hand, if it is more, floods take place. So the rains should be in proper quantity, and then only all the living things will live a very happy life. But if rains are there, it is the responsibility of each and every person to save the rainwater, to harvest the rainwater for the future purposes. So let us all be responsible citizens and protect our earth, protect our nature, and save all the natural resources. Hope you would have enjoyed the lesson. You learnt about the concepts of air, you learnt about the concepts of atmosphere, you learnt about rains, the wind systems. So, hope you would have enjoyed the lesson a lot. Thank you very much for watching.